Hi, this is Randy with SmoothieMakersHQ.com, and I'm doing a video review here of the Blendtec Total Blender. This is the home edition. This is also what they call the Wildside, and there's absolutely no difference in the bases of the model. I think they do make a stainless steel one, but I'm talking about the colored base, the plastic base. There's no different in the base. Everything that's different, the only thing that's different is the pitcher. This one's a Wildside because it has right here an actual fifth side to the jar, whereas the I forget the name, but it's a non-Wildside model is just a four-sided blender. And Blendtec's testing this fifth side, they thought gave a little bit more agitation when it came to blending. And if you've ever seen the Will It Blend videos, I don't know, it can blend rocks instead of just marbles, I don't know. But anyways, we're going to do a video review here. The Blendtec comes with 6 speeds preset. I shouldn't say 6 speeds, 6 presets here for different things that you might be blending up. If you're doing some salad dressings or some dips, if you're wanting to do a whole juice, or if you're wanting to do smoothies, it does have individual speed controls here as well as a pulse button over here. Generally, when I started doing smoothies, I tried using the smoothie button and found out that it just, for me, the way I make smoothies, I just do the speed. I just crank it up to 10, which is max speed, and let it run. I think it's preset for 50 seconds. Occasionally I will pulse, but anyways, the pitcher is plastic, the base is plastic. It does have a counter here that shows how many times you've run cycles, and I've used this probably for the last 5 months. I've done over 350 smoothies with it, and I am replacing my Vitamix that I had for many months prior to, and I'll get into some specifics on that, because actually I don't find the Blendtec, if you're just making smoothies with it, I would take my Vitamix in a heartbeat over the Blendtec. But there's some reasons why I kept the Blendtec and use it on my daily basis rather than the Vitamix. And basically it entails, because I do more than just make smoothies. If you're going to spend the kind of money on a blender like this, you know, I don't recommend you just make smoothies with it, although it does make phenomenal smoothies. But anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. It does have a nice rubber lid with a plastic stopper, pour stopper. The lid is, I think it's about an inch and about an inch and a half square here that you can add items with the lid on, which is a nice feature, one that I use. And so what I generally do is a two-step process to doing my smoothies in this. I will generally make 70 some ounces of smoothies, and I find it easier if I go ahead and blend up the greens first, not because there's any limiting capacity or functionality with the blender. It's just there's so much, when you add greens, it's so much volume, it's just easier to blend that all down and then add the other items. So I go to Kroger and I buy bags of pre-cut, pre-washed kale, and I actually freeze it. I also do collards they have, and I think they have turnip greens, although the Kroger that I go to doesn't carry the turnip greens. But and then I'll use spinach. I buy 2.5 pound bags of spinach at GFS, and as I've said in my videos, for me, it's got to be simple. If it's not simple, I'm not going to do it. But anyways, let's go ahead and make up what I would normally do, make up a batch of smoothies. So I'll start out with some couple handfuls of the kale. This is just a super food, and I've never had kale in my life till I started making smoothies, and now I love it. The collards is good as well. just having this stuff frozen, I don't have to worry about it ever going bad, and it's just a little bit easier to handle. There's also occasionally they'll do some markdowns, like half-price markdowns at the store. So, well, they did here. It's not quite half price, but and I'll snap that up and freeze them. And then we're going to add a nice amount of spinach. I don't know, folks. I just put in handfuls. This stuff, you know, you don't taste it. I don't. And if it does, I've got a little, thing that I add to help sweeten the blend up. Let me put this back in the freezer. I do not freeze my spinach because I use my spinach for salads and whatnot. Okay, then I also have some bok choy, which I don't know a thing about bok choy. I like just the sound of the name, and I'm sure it adds some nutrients. I'm going to put my cucumber here on top. Get that, go ahead and blend that up. Well, I'll add this now. Stevia, this is the sweetener. It's an all-natural sweetener, and I'll put that in just to, that's probably the equivalent of, I don't know, quite a bit of sugar. There is no sugar in that. It is all natural. And we'll do this. Now, this is probably going to be loud on my microphone, even though I have a lapel mic, so I apologize for that up front. Generally what I'll do is pulse this. Just until everything gets blended up, and then I can go back and add the other ingredients. Now I've got some carrots that I'm adding here. Oops, I'm putting in an orange. By the way, if you use an orange, what I recommend is that you use a potato peeler and just peel the bright orange, or the bright orange off, and leave as much of the pith, the white, as you can, because that's just full of nutrients. And then we're going to put an apple here. What did I do with it? Oh, I add about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more of flaxseed that I grind up in my Blendtec. That gives me all my omega-3 oils without having to eat any fish. Now I'm going to go ahead and blend this up a little bit. Once you start any cycle, or the speed, if you just press any other button, it'll stop. And I want to show, this is just one annoying thing about the Blendtec is, number one, this does not, the plastic stopper does not seal good, and if you see, there's actually smoothie that comes up and always coats the lid. And you know, I end up having to take a spatula and pour that all down because I'm not going to waste it. And that just, I don't know, that's just something, one of my personal quirks. I do have some pineapple that I had earlier and had to leave out, and that's not frozen. But then generally, once I have the greens mixed up, I'm going to go back, and I got that awfully full of greens today, so I don't know how much of the frozen fruit I'll even be able to add. But I buy 2.5 pound bags, or these are actually 5 pound bags of frozen fruit. This is mixed fruit, a GFS, pineapple, mango, strawberries, peaches, you name it, they have it. I'm sure Costco has the same type thing. Sam's Club, I think, does, although Sam's Club. I've bought some of their fruit from Sam's Club, and it has some ingredients other than just fresh fruit added. So, not a big fan of that. This guy is awfully full, which leads me to another thing that I just I learned the hard way with the Blendtec, is that if you notice when I blend, I keep my hand on, I have had this lid blow off, and if I have pictures, I think I do, the last time it happened, I'll put it on this video. I've had this lid actually blow off when I've been blending. And I never have that problem with the Vitamix. I've filled that Vitamix up to overflowing, actually, the way it's designed, and have put the lid on, turned that thing on high, and walked away and never had a problem. I would not do that with this Blendtec. I don't trust it. So I'm going to blend this up. Okay, that was 50 seconds on high speed. I kept a firm pressure on that. I think I've had the lid blow off twice on me, so, you know, eventually I learn. And again, the top of this lid is full of the smoothie, so then what I end up normally doing is coming back and scraping that in. And generally, I don't know, I shouldn't have to do that for this price of a blender. However, despite the things that really tick me off, I love some of the other features of it. So I'm going to get a little bit of this. I'm going to try not to scoop. Doing this because if I tried to pour, I'd really have a mess. Alright, so, you know, the consistency of it, I mean, it's a 30,000 RPM blade. It'll blend up things. I will say, in all honesty, I have had times when I'll have chunks, a piece of fruit won't get blended up. Generally the greens aren't a problem because I pre-blend those. But, and it even might be in this once I get down further, just a chunk of fruit won't blend up. And I don't know, I mean, I packed that thing pretty full, but you know, it is just something, again, it's not a huge deal because the rest of the smoothie is completely smooth, completely blended, completely smooth. You'll never find a smoothie that is more smooth than with these high-speed blenders. And even though I wasn't able to add a lot of fruit that I normally would, or a little bit more fruit, putting the stevia in this just smooths this out, so it takes away the bitter taste of the greens. Just real quick, this is a smoothie video, but I want to say the one thing that I like this over the Vitamix, and the reason why I kept it, is because the inside of this blender, the jar, number one, is square, and number two, it's completely smooth. The Vitamix jar, and I'll do a separate video comparing them, has ridges on the inside to help with the swirling action, and so it's a little bit hard when I make peanut butter or dips to get in there and get that all out. I did it for months, but the thing that made me buy this was Blendtec has a smaller pitcher, and I use this all the time for making nut butters. You put it in. I also use it for ice cream. You put in your ingredients, you put this lid on, and the lid turns, And what happens is those blades, as it spins, pushes the ingredients back down into the blades. So you never have to stop the blender, push stuff down. It's a great thing. And this is also smooth on the inside, and then one of the things they give you is a spatula with it that fits exactly down in there. So though I don't love my Blendtec for just making smoothies because of the items that I said before, I do keep it because of the other features. It's more of a total system for me versus the Vitamix. The Vitamix will do everything the Blendtec does, but the cleanup with the Blendtec, the getting the ingredients out, is a lot quicker than with the Vitamix. So anyways, I hope this gives you a little snapshot and some of the idiosyncrasies that you'll find with the Blendtec. And if you get it, don't pack this thing and hit the button and walk away, because it will make a mess. Okay, this is Randy with Smoothie Makers. Hi, this is Randy with SmoothieMakersHQ.com, and I'm doing a video review here of the Blendtec Total Blender. This is the home edition. This is also what they call the Wildside, and there's absolutely no difference in the bases of the model. I think they do make a stainless steel one, but I'm talking about the colored base, the plastic base. There's no different in the base. Everything that's different, the only thing that's different is the pitcher. This one's a Wildside because it has right here an actual fifth side to the jar. Whereas the, I forget the name, but it's a non-Wildside model, is just a four-sided blender. And Blendtec's testing this fifth side, they thought gave a little bit more agitation when it came to blending. And if you've ever seen the Will It Blend videos, I don't know, it can blend rocks instead of just marbles, I don't know. But anyways, we're going to do a video review here. The Blendtec comes with 6 speeds preset. I shouldn't say 6 speeds. 6 presets here for different things that you might be blending up. If you're doing some salad dressings or some dips, if you're wanting to do a whole juice, or if you're wanting to do smoothies, it does have individual speed controls here.